former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, has said the Igbo nation has suffered marginalization from the Nigerian state and called for measures to be adopted to reverse the trend. He said this in Abuja during a debate for national unity entitled Federal Character, Restructuring and Rotation of Presidential Power in Nigeria, organized by Igbo Leadership Development Foundation. The wartime head of state said Nigeria was sufficiently large enough to accommodate everyone irrespective of tribal leaning. He said a constitutional debate on restructuring must look into issues of imbalances that has haunted the nation to correct it and promote equity. I believe that a lot of injustice have been done to the Igbos, and the constitutional debate on restructuring must address all imbalances. Nigeria is big enough for all of us, and I believe that the Indigbo, Middle Belt, and the Yorubas are the true Nigerians, because if you look around our borders, people came from abroad and are still coming, but Indigbos have always been there. Middle Belt have always been there. Even Yorubas have always been there. People who came in yesterday, who have a duty of respect, are now the ones talking. Going forward, we must create a federal democracy that will respond positively to all the aspirations of our people, not about east-west, but all about working together in equality, bringing in the youth, the women together to build a new Nigeria. The former head of state said he believes that without Nigeria remains incomplete with Indigbo, pointing out that if the nation sufficiently harnessed the intelligence and hard work of the Indigbo man, Nigeria would have been better. The former head of state was represented at the event by former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Obadiah Malafia. Gowon said God did not make a mistake by putting Igbo in Nigeria, and democracy, which the nation practiced, demands fairness, justice, and transparency in the leadership and governance of the country. He maintained that while restructuring was critical to national advancement, it must be carried out in an atmosphere of tolerance and love for one another. He noted, "I am not a friend of hate speech, bitterness, but a friend of patriotism, because Nigeria is dear to my heart, and I believe in bright future of Nigeria and Igbo, and that together we can make our country great." Founder of Gregory University, Uturu, Professor Gregory Ibe, who also addressed participants to the debate, said in his keynote address that Nigeria's unitary system and federal structure were only in name. Gregory regretted that the present system was a clear departure from the federal system bequeathed to the country by its founding fathers and Britain. According to most of the powers that will engender regrowth and development are tied in the exclusive list. Solid minerals, electricity, railway, ports, security, etc. are all tied to the federal exclusive list to be executed only by the federal government. He pointed out that federal government has not been to live up to the expectations of Nigerians in harnessing God-given resource, both natural and human, to make the black race proud. He maintained that restructuring was all about restoring to the state what the military took away from regions. Wow. Every day we are hearing this restructuring, and what have you. I think the problem has been ongoing before now. It has been going before now, but the problem is that people are trying to, or we're trying to manage the whole thing. But as soon as this present administration came, when Buhari came, everything just, I don't just even know, everything just scattered. That's the way I can just put it. Everything just got scattered, because immediately he made that statement, somebody who is always coming with the word integrity and what have you. Buhari is not patriotic. He's not patriotic. The president is not patriotic. No matter what anybody wants to say, it's glaring and he's not hiding it. When he began to talk about 5%, 97%, 95%, and what have you, you know what we are talking about. that those who gave him enough votes is going to concentrate on all of those things. Even if some people are like, oh, go to Southeast, the Niger wanting bridge, Niger bridge, that they are doing work there, they are doing this and this and that. Whether those ones are audio projects or whether they are real projects or video projects, but the issue is that for the fact that you started on that note, trying to discriminate. And when he talked about it, we know people who did not vote for him. It is not by force. It's not for the fact that I say I don't want to associate with you or I don't want to be friends with you. Doesn't mean I hate you. Maybe we don't have anything in common. And the best thing is just for me to say, oh, I just want to give you gap. That doesn't mean somebody hates you. You cannot force anybody to like you. Everybody cannot be your friend. Like I always say, even the devil has fans. So what are we talking about? If somebody says, okay, I don't want to vote you because I don't believe in you, because I don't have a trust in you, that is the person's opinion. And you cannot say because of that, you want to rob them of their rights, or you want to make it seem as if they hate you. And that's why you say you are going to be president, or you are not the president, and you are showing hatred, and you are making such statements. I don't know why people are not deliberating on that statement, that 95%, 97%, and what have you. Then you expect the people to like you. Because one thing I've always been saying is that no matter how you say, oh, I'm not going to vote for this particular person, you are not excluded for not paying your tax. You must pay your tax. Whether I voted for Mr. A and I don't like Mr. B, and Mr. B gets to the throne of power, I must pay my tax, because it is my tax that they will use in funding whatever the Mr. B is going to be doing, being a leader. So for the fact I did not vote for you, that does not exclude me from not paying my tax. I must pay my tax, and it is that my tax that is being used to fund your lifestyle. So for the fact that people did not vote for you, you shouldn't say because of that you are not going to start looking at their area. You are not going to be focusing development or doing a lot of things in their area. And meanwhile, it is not your money. It's not your personal money. It is everybody's money. In as much the people did not vote for you, yes, they still have to pay their tax, and paying their taxes, they are going to use it to fund your lifestyle. So for you now to say 95%, 5%, it started on a wrong note, and that is hate speech on itself. And they are not saying anything. Those who are surrounding him, they will not see, those his supporters, they will not see that statement. So we know that this problem of marginalization and what have you has been ongoing, which is even debatable, which I can even still talk about, because like I always say, in all the parties, all the political parties we've been having in this country, there is no way we don't have the Igbos. So when they go to their meeting or they have their caucus meeting, what do they discuss there? Do they say, okay, these are the Igbos, okay, you go this way, we don't want to talk about you? So what are those people who are even Igbos, who have been representing their people in all those their political whatever? What have they been doing? Because when you talk about marginalization, it baffles me. Because these people, these politicians who are from the Southeast, all of them, they are influential. So when they go to those parties, like we have a PDP and APC, or at least those are the two major parties, and we have other smaller parties as well. So if APC and PDP, we have Igbos there, in PDP we have the Igbos there. So what do they discuss with them that they now have to decide, okay, this is the person that is going for the presidency? Because some of them will say, well, we don't have a written agreement. But the ones that have been having written agreements, why is it that they have not been able to they have not given the slot of presidency to the Igbos? What have they been doing there? We have lives of them that are influential, the Igbos. So when you talk about marginalization, okay, now, the ones that have not been marginalized, which we've always been talking, now we're sounding like a broken record. Like now, from the Southwest, they've been getting appointment and upon appointment. What does that appointment given to such individuals, how does it have an effect on an everyday person from the Southeast? Nothing. Like I always say, Fashola had 3 portfolios in the first term. So how does it affect an ordinary man on the street from Southwest? Nothing. So when we continue with this idea of a marginalization, the real marginalization is the marginalization of the masses, not the political elite. Because once they get what they want, they are not telling you that, okay, because I gave you 3 slots in this appointment, then that ends it. So would that solve the problem of individuals, every Nigerian, or the masses on the street? Will that solve their problem? No. And that is one thing that these people are not getting. When you talk of marginalization of the Igbos, I don't even agree with it, because we have those influential Igbos who are all in most of all the political parties. There's no political party you don't have the Igbos. So what are we talking about? They are not addressing this issue. The marginalization we are experiencing is the marginalization of the masses, not the political elite. So once they get that slot of appointment, so the rest of us should be bound to the Philistine. Is that what they are talking about? See what is happening now. Those who are always claiming and priding themselves that they are born to rule. See, there are people all over the place, littered all over the place, begging and begging and begging. All the vices that we are experiencing in this country, they are embedded in that region. So what are we talking about? They are just there to be deceiving people. So because you gave one of my town person, gave that person appointment. So is that how what we bring development to this country? It's very, very unfortunate. Even some of our leaders, the way they reason and the way what they sell out to the people is very, very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. And if some people have decided that they want to go their separate way, good and fine. If you're talking about restructuring, if that is what is going to happen, let them do it. The ones who are saying, oh, the Nigeria cannot be divided, that is not negotiable. It's not negotiable. The one Nigeria, for it to be put in proper place, you are not even doing the right thing. Restructuring, no way. One Nigeria, you are not doing anything. Secession, people who want to go their separate way, having their own nation, no way. So where do we belong to? Just moving around circles. No, now that Gowon has suddenly found love, or trying to, I don't know whether he's trying to correct some things, because the Igbos have been on him that he was part of the people that caused the problem, whichever way, which I don't even want to go into. So now I don't know whether he's trying to get their favor and what have you. He's talking about the Igbos and what have you, that they have to be considered, they have been marginalized and all of that. Everybody is marginalized in this country. As far as this country is concerned, every one of us, we are all marginalized. So they should just get their facts correct. Someone says, good morning, sir. What you are saying is right, but it is too late, Mr. President. It's coming out late from your mouth. We have already taken decision on where we are going. I have, of course, because even the Igbo leaders, they cannot even help the people, because the marginalization we are talking about is the marginalization of the people, because even the Igbo leaders are not speaking for their people, and that's why majority of the people in Southeast, 95% of them, they want to live a Nigeria, and which is not a crime. I don't know. They have just made it to be, as if it's a crime if you say you want to go your separate way. The UK that is always encouraging that Nigeria should stay together, they just left EU. Why did they leave EU? They were together. After 40-something years, they had to say, no, we don't want. This union is not working for us. And they left. So how can you now be telling other people not to leave, that they must be together, if not that you have ulterior motives, which people have been accusing them of? So this sudden love that Gowon just found with the Igbos, I don't understand what he's saying, but in my opinion, they are not addressing this issue the way it ought to be addressed. Not the marginalization of the Igbos or this. They are just talking of marginalization of the political leaders there, so that because they are not giving them presidency and all of that. If you give them presidency, it's just to say, okay, let us fulfill all righteousness, let them have their own let the presidency go to them. If it goes to them, then what happens to the rest people? What are they bringing to the table? The ones that have had opportunity to be there, other regions, what have they brought to the table? That is the questions. So guys, that is just my own opinion. I'm seeing it from a different angle. Of course, you might want to see it from a different angle, which we want you to, let us know from the comment section. Thank you very much for always being there.